Kila siku nambari mpya hutueleza hadithi ile ile kwamba sisi hatukubali mambo tusiyoweza kufanya ije kati ya mambo tunaoweza. Tuendelee kusonga mbele.
Introducing Ndovu Home Baking Flour and Ndovu Maize Meal, now in an attractive new packaging. Ndovu flours are fortified with vitamins and minerals to provide wholesome goodness for the whole family. Milled from a blend of the finest wheat, Ndovu all-purpose flour makes the most delicious chapatis, mandazis and all other pastries. Ndovu is readily available at your nearest shop. Ndovu Tosha. Cabling tips. Use cables from a reputable manufacturer made from 99.99% pure copper and the best insulation. Use a certified installer. Scratch to verify and authenticate your cables. We manufacture an extensive range of power cables for applications in domestic and industrial wiring. Our work speaks for itself. Get in touch. Let's talk cables. Kumbuka Wire C Wire. East African Cables. Connecting lives.
This is NTV.
Naam, ahlan wa sahlan mtazamaji, ni furaha yangu kujumuika nawe hii leo kwenye NTV jioni. Natumai ubuheri wa afya siku hii ya Jumanne. Mtazamaji, mfumo wa wagonjwa kujiuguza nyumbani maambukizi ya COVID-19 unaonekana kuzaa matunda katika muda wa saa 24. Wagonjwa 587 wanaojiuguza nyumbani wamepona, jambo ambalo limechangia idadi kubwa wanaopona katika muda wa saa 24. Idadi jumla waliopona katika muda wa saa 24 ni 642 na imefikisha 6258 waliopona corona nchini. Aidha, katika saa 24 watu 397 wameambukizwa na kupelekea idadi ya walioambukizwa corona nchini kufika 14168. Hata hivyo, taifa limewapoteza Wakenya 12 katika muda wa saa 24 kutokana na virusi hivyo, idadi ambayo ni kubwa zaidi kuripotiwa hapa nchini katika muda wa saa 24 na kupelekea jumla waliofariki kufika 250. Mtazamaji, tumekuandalia mengine mengi hii leo, lakini kwanza tupate vipasho.
We realize that eateries sell beers. That makes people to go there to pretend they are waiting for meals, then they drink as much as they can.
A lot of infections are coming in from those joints.
Huenda serikali ikapiga marufuku unywaji vileo hadharani ikiwemo katika mikahawa.
Jerry alikuwa mtoto mzuri sana, alikuwa active na mambo yake. Sawa.
Sintofahamu yatokea Murang'a baada ya mtoto wa miaka 15 kudaiwa kumuua mwenzake wa miaka 9.
Ni kama kwa nakula. Msichana hakuwa ameuka vizuri, ilikuwa hali mbaya, hali ya uchafu, ilikuwa atapewa sigara pana. Hata tunadhani vile hawezi kuwa anaongea ukweli kwamba inawezekana kwamba pia alikuwa anavuta bangi. Kwa hivyo tutachunguza hayo.
Msichana wa miaka 17 kuombolewa baada ya kuwekwa mateka kwa wiki 2 kaunti ya Kirinyaga.
The government supports healthcare workers. Bring on board more healthcare workers to serve Kenyans, employ the 1,000 doctors we have, unveil the insurance and compensation package.
Na muungano wa madaktari washinikiza kuajiriwa kwa wahudumu zaidi wa afya kukabili corona.
Mbashara kutoka Jumba Nation. Hii ni NTV Jioni na Nuru Abdulaziz.
Na karibu sana mtazamaji, ndamana nasi hadi tamati. Mwenzangu wa ishara ni David Agondoa. Tukianza taarifa zetu, watu 13 wamejeruhiwa katika kivuko cha Likoni kufuatia mkanyagano kutokea baada ya feri MV Safari kukwama. Mkurugenzi wa KPA Bakari Goa anasema kisa hicho kilitokea saa 9:30 pale feri ya MV Kwale ilipogonga MV Safari na kutoboa shimo, hali iliyopelekea maji kuingia katika injini. Hata hivyo wamefanikiwa kuikwamua, lakini mashahidi wanasema kilichosababisha mkurupuko ni kuchelewa kufunguka kwa mlango wa feri ilipotia nanga. Hali hiyo iliwatia hofu abiria na baadhi wakaanza kukimbilia maisha yao kwa kukurupuka wakitoka nje bila mpangilio. Kisa cha leo kimedhihirisha wazi changamoto zilizopo katika kivuko cha feri, hasa wakati huu wa janga la COVID-19, kwani hata taratibu za kuzuia maambukizi ya homa hiyo zilisahaulika wakati wa hekaheka hiyo. Na tukielekea kaunti ya Murang'a ni kwamba polisi katika kijiji cha Ihagaini eneo la Maragwa kaunti ya Murang'a wanachunguza kifo cha msichana wa miaka 9 anayedaiwa kuuawa na kijana wa miaka 15. Mshukiwa anadai kuwa kifo cha mtoto mwenzake kilitokana na ajali. Polisi wanashuku madai haya kwani kijana huyo alijaribu kuficha mwili wa marehemu kwa kuuzika. Charity Mwangi na maelezo zaidi.
Maisha ya mtoto wa miaka 9 yalikomea hapa katika kaburi hili lenye kina kifupi. Inadaiwa kuwa marehemu Purity Njeri aliitwa na mtoto mwenzake jirani kuchuna maparachichi, na hiyo ndio ilikuwa siku ya mwisho ya jamaa zake kumwona Njeri angali hai.
Njeri alikuwa mtoto mzuri sana, alikuwa active na mambo yake. Sawa. Ndio kuridaje.
Pale kwa mkodofia hapo chini palikuwa pamechibwa kasimo kidogo, alafu mchanga ikarudishwa. Mimi nikaenda nikatoa hiyo mchanga na nikaangalia kama kuna kitu, lakini sikupata kitu. Kuangalia hapo chini nikaona kuna kashimo ingine ilikuwa inajaribiwa kuchibiwa hapo. Nikaona hakuna, lakini kuna kitu imevurutwa, nyashi inaonekana kama kuna kitu kilikuwa kinavurutwa kikielekeshwa pande ya chini.
Anayedaiwa kumuondoa mtoto huyo wa darasa la 3 ulimwenguni pia ni mtoto mwenye umri wa miaka 15, Patrick Kariuki Kombo. Kariuki ni mtoto wa darasa la 6 katika shule ya msingi ya Ihagaini, shule ile alikosomea marehemu. Kariuki alijaribu kujitetea kwa madai kwamba tukio hilo lilikuwa ajali ya ghafla na kamwe mauaji hayakukusudiwa. Kariuki amewaambia polisi Njeri alifariki baada ya kugongwa na mti uliovunjika na kumwangukia marehemu.
Tukaita huo kijana, tukamuuliza, Pat, kuna kitu unajua kuhusu Njeri na wewe? Akasema hapana. Ni mimi nilienda na mikono yangu, mimi nikatoa ile mchanga yenye ilikuwa hapo, nikakuta ngunia. Wakati nilikuta ngunia, mimi nikaifinya hivi, nikasikia hapo kuna kitu. Mimi nikasema mimi sitatoanisha, wacha tuende polisi tuwaite.
Polisi wanayashuku madai hayo kwani uchunguzi wa maiti unaashiria kuwa Njeri alikufa kwa kutopata hewa ya kutosha, hali inayoashiria huenda alinyongwa. Polisi wanaamini mshukiwa alijaribu kuficha mwili huo badala ya kutoa ripoti kwa vyombo vya usalama kwa sababu alijua yale alikuwa ametenda.
Postmortem tulienda na tukakuta daktari mzuri na akaangalia mtoto na akamtibu venye wanatibu. Akasema mtoto hakuangukiwa na avocado. Mtoto ni kunyogwa, alinyogwa manually.
Hapa Ihagaini vijana wanatumia bangi. Kweli. Hata ukienda na barabara unasikia inanuka.
Uchunguzi sasa umeanzishwa huku polisi wakitaka kujua ni yapi aliyoyapitia marehemu kabla ya kifo chake, mbali na kujua kiini cha Kariuki kumtendea unyama huo. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
Na tunatumai kwamba uchunguzi utabaini haswa ni nini kilisababisha kifo cha mtoto huyo. Mtazamaji, tukisonga mbele, baa zote na maeneo ya kuuza mvinyo na divai katika kaunti ya Kiambu zimeamuriwa kufunga biashara kufikia siku ya Ijumaa. Gavana James Nyoro ametoa amri hiyo huku akilaumu maeneo hayo kwa ongezeko la visa vya COVID-19 katika kaunti hiyo. Wakati huo idara ya polisi inataka mikahawa kutoruhusiwa kuuza pombe kwani inakiuka kanuni za kupambana na COVID-19. Hayo yamejiri wakati wakazi wa Kisumu wameandamana kuhusu dereva mlevi aliyesababisha vifo vya watu 3 Jumamosi. Mwanahabari wetu Seth Olale ana taarifa kamili.
Wakazi wa Kisumu walifanya maandamano leo asubuhi nje ya kiwanda cha sukari cha Kibos kufuatia mauaji ya watu 3 akiwemo mwendeshaji bodaboda Jumamosi usiku. Inadaiwa 3 hao waligongwa kwa gari na dereva mlevi anayedaiwa kuwa mwanawe miliki wa kiwanda hicho cha sukari, Sukhwinder Singh Chate.
We plead for justice for our brothers who were murdered.
Waandamanaji wanadai kwamba dereva aliyefikishwa mahakamani na kuachiliwa kwa dhamana ya shilingi 60,000 siye aliyesababisha ajali hiyo.
Fears which were being raised by members of the public that it was not the person arraigned before court who was the driver are yet to be investigated. And we pledge that anybody with that information should visit the police station so that claims can be.
Mjini Kiambu, Gavana James Nyoro ameamuru kufungwa kwa baa zote na maeneo ya kuuza mvinyo na divai katika kaunti hiyo kabla ya siku ya Ijumaa. Nyoro analaumu maeneo hayo ya burudani kwa ongezeko la visa vya corona katika kaunti hiyo.
If you don't cross, we will come next week. We will make you cross and we will revoke your license, never again to be issued a license.
Aidha, NTV imebaini kwamba Wizara ya Afya inalenga kupiga marufuku uuzaji na unywaji wa pombe katika maeneo ya umma ikiwemo mikahawa, baa, bustani, maeneo ya kuuza mvinyo na divai na kwenye magari ya umma au ya kibinafsi. Kulingana na kamanda wa polisi jijini Nairobi, Philip Ndolo, mikahawa ambayo ilikubaliwa kuuza pombe ndiyo inayoongoza katika uvunjaji wa sheria.
I've seen also bars, which are just local bars. Then somebody just boils meat in a jiko and presents that is an eatery.
Aidha, walinda usalama jijini Nairobi wanalenga maeneo ya Lang'ata, Karen, Eastern Bypass, Kasarani, Kibera na Mathare ambapo kuna visa vingi vya baa kufanya kazi saa za curfew.
Certain eateries or other places that are operating beyond the curfew hours and find very senior people. And when you try to close, they start making calls. Others threaten my officers.
Tayari jumla ya baa 15 zimefungwa na walinda usalama chini ya wiki moja, na walinda usalama vile wanawania kufunga baa na mikahawa zaidi ambazo hazifuati ama hazizingatii kanuni zilizowekwa za kuzuia usambazaji wa COVID-19. Seth Olale, NTV, Nairobi.
Ni afua kwa familia moja eneo la Mwea Mashariki, kaunti ya Kirinyaga baada ya kumpata binti yao wa miaka 17 wanayeamini alikuwa ameshikwa mateka kwa wiki 2. Kulingana na familia hiyo, binti yao walipatikana akiwa katika hali ya kuchanganyikiwa, kuashiria kwamba huenda aliyemteka alikuwa akimpa vileo na kumdhalilisha. Fatma Bugu na uketo wa taarifa hiyo.
Ni simu aliyopokea naibu wa chifu Henry Kariuki kutoka kwa wananchi iliokoa maisha ya msichana huyu. Msichana huyu mwenye umri wa miaka 17 aliripotiwa kupotea wiki 2 zilizopita.
Leo asubuhi niweza kupata simu kutoka kwa mwenzangu kaniarifu kuna msichana amepatikana huko kwake akizurura na anasema yeye ni wa upande huu na alitoroka kwao, na niliweza kwenda mpaka pande ile nikaweza kumwona nikamhoji. Hapo niweza kutafuta wazazi wake.
Kulingana na maelezo aliyompa babake,
alienda sokoni sababu alikuwa ametumwa na mama kwa sokoni, ati akapatana na mtu akamwambia kama wataenda naye kwake ati atamua. Hivyo ndivyo ametuelezea.
Familia hiyo inadai hali ya msichana huyo wakati alipopatikana imewatia wasiwasi.
Alikuwa mikononi mbaya, sababu ukimwangalia vile anakwenda vile alikuwa, na kama ni mtu alikuwa akipatiwa drugs ama na pombe sana, sababu hata anaonekana hizo wiki mbili amepotea, ni kama hakuwa anakula.
Msichana hakuwa ameweka vizuri, ilikuwa hali mbaya, hali ya uchafu, alikuwa hata apewa sigara pana. Hata tunadhani ni vile hawezi kuwa anaongea ukweli kwamba inawezekana kwamba pia alikuwa anavuta bangi. Kwa hivyo tutachunguza hayo.
Tangu kuchipuka kwa ugonjwa wa corona, vijana wengi ambao wanafaa kuwa shuleni wamejipata mashakani au kudhulumiwa. Wazazi wametakiwa kuwa waangalifu kwa wana wao, hasa kipindi hiki ambapo watoto wako nyumbani.
Kwa hivyo wazazi waangalia hawa watoto wao vyema, wawape majukumu ya kufanya, watoto wawe busy, wasiweze kujiingiza katika vitendo kama hivi.
Uchunguzi wa kisa hicho cha Kirinyaga unaendelea kujua mshukiwa wa unyanyasaji wa binti huyo, huku wazazi wake wakitakiwa kuchunguza afya yake kikamilifu. Fatima Bugu, NTV.
Kwingineko, kadri maambukizi ya korona yanaongezeka nchini ndivyo wahudumu zaidi wa afya wanaathirika au kuambukizwa virusi hivyo. Muungano wa madaktari nchini KMPDU sasa unaitaka serikali kufanya hima katika kuwaajiri wahudumu zaidi wa afya, hususan madaktari, kwa kuzingatia misingi sawa na wanaotoka Cuba, mbali na kuboresha marupurupu yao ili kuimarisha utendakazi. Aidha, KMPDU inataka serikali kugharamia bima ya afya wa wahudumu wa afya wanaoambukizwa COVID-19.
Kulingana na muungano wa madaktari KMPDU, serikali kuwapa kipaumbele madaktari wa Kenya wakati wa kutoa ajira kwa manufaa ya Wakenya kwanza. Kauli hii imetokana na hatua ya serikali kusajili madaktari 20 kutoka Cuba kusaidia kupambana na corona.
The government support healthcare workers. Bring on board more healthcare workers to serve Kenyans, employ the 1,000 doctors we have, unveil the insurance and compensation package.
Aidha, muungano huo umeonya dhidi ya kuwatia mashakani madaktari waliozidi umri wa miaka 55 kwa kuwaweka mstari wa mbele kwenye vita dhidi ya corona, ilhali wamo katika hatari zaidi kiafya.
A lot of evidence that COVID-19 is no longer a respiratory system disease. Dealing with this illness has shown evidence of neurological symptoms, strokes, impairment in memory, movement, heart disease, kidney complications. And all these healthcare workers who are now affected are at the greatest risk of suffering disabilities.
Kufuatia kuongezeka kwa visa vya corona katika kaunti, wahudumu wa afya wanasema kuwa bado hawajapata vifaa vinavyotosha na vya viwango bora vya kuwakinga corona.
When we have a substandard PPE, and what I mean like this, today I'm wearing a surgical mask, but for me to fight and fight COVID-19, I need KN95 mask. I need gown, I need to be gowned. So we are saying we have PPEs, but we want these PPEs to be topped out so that even we doesn't experience sporadic stockouts of PPEs.
There are people sitting and taking advantage of the fact that healthcare workers are busy fighting COVID to sneak in illegal amendments that will pull away the autonomy of healthcare professionals in the regulation.
Helen Aura, NTV.
Na mtazamaji, nitasoma baadhi ya maoni tu yenyu hapa. Ruth Mairura anasema tutashinda vita dhidi ya COVID-19. Naye Alumasa Jackson anasema hivi vipimo vya COVID-19 vinatoka kwa watu wagani, walio nyumbani au barabarani? Anasema kwa sababu visa vinaongezeka kila uchao. Mtazamaji, tunaenda mapumzikoni, nitarejea na taarifa zaidi.
So vile nasema, wacha nikubatie statistics. Niko na gamia 1500, tunakuwa drapo gamia na kuwa 6000. 2000 natengeneza leather, natengeneza viatu, wallet, kibeti, nauza hapa, na batia wewe 50%. Wacha niweke credit nikupigie.
Namna gani wewe? Hii mambo ya kuishiwa na credit kila saa. Come on. Nunua hiyo simu ya Vodafone. Calling fiber to fiber is 0 shillings per minute. And it is not expensive. Only 2,999 Kenya shillings.
Alo hali wa. Hata fadhali hiyo credit ikae ninunue simu basi.
Faibika leo na Vodafone for only 2,999 Kenya shillings. It will always be free to call fiber to fiber.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more. Like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola. Taste the simple joys.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. Panadol Extra, now with new Optizop technology, to fight multiple tough pains with 3 times more pain-relieving medicine in the first 30 minutes when you need it most. Seeing them support themselves makes any pain worth it. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
How many times do I have to tell you not to just come into my house anytime you feel like?
Now this new intern, can you ask her to come to my place immediately?
Tumekuja hapa sababu ya huyu. Tunataka aoe.
What do you have in mind?
Kuna mtu angependa kuolewa na mimi?
Naona shida yako ni mapenzi, eh?
Umejua aje ilikuwa atafuta bibi.
Victory Gardens Kitengela by Optivan. This gated community is fully developed, filled with ultra-modern value additions. Call us today on 0790 300 300 or visit www.optivan.co.ke.
Shukran sana kwa kuendelea kuwa nasi. Kuna zaidi ya chanjo 200 zinazofanywa majaribio kote duniani katika kutafuta tiba au suluhu ya kudhibiti maambukizi ya corona. Chuo kikuu cha Oxford nchini Uingereza kwa mfano kimetangaza ufanisi mkubwa katika majaribio ya chanjo iliyohusisha watu 1077. Kulingana na utafiti huo, chanjo hiyo inawezesha mwili kutengeneza kinga zaidi ya pamoja na seli za T zinazokabili virusi vya corona. Lakini kulingana na Wizara ya Afya, huenda mataifa yanayoendelea na ya wastani yasinufaike mara moja.
The chances are that we may get a number of products that will then have to be applied. I can see that there are many countries that have already placed huge orders for these vaccines. Now you know that just like we told you about our testing limitations with testing, the limitations of getting the equipment and getting the reagents because of the global supply chain and the demands, and the preferences You know, the more developed, richer worlds where these products are produced are the ones to benefit first. And we end up in the end of the queue. I think there is intense diplomatic effort going on to see that there is that certain level of equity in terms of the distribution of these vaccines once they come out. And we hope that low and middle income countries, our country included, that we will be among those who will be able to get some doses of those vaccines when they are ready to be used.
Na mtazamaji, taarifa hii inatamatishia awamu ya pili ya NTV jioni, na rejea na taarifa za spoti.
This and more Christian music only on Angaza Music. Get Angaza Music for 10 shillings daily plus 50 MB data bundle. Dial *544#, then select option 6 on your Safaricom line. Angaza Music. Baraka Mkononi.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more. Like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola. Taste the simple joys.
Lazima ukuje na watoto ndio uingie hii party.
Sai kama watano hivi niko jua.
Kuna watoto watano?
Wako lete sai tu ni kuoga tu na kutoka.
Watoto? Sawa basi wewe harakisha. Yes. Kinyanjui ni nini?
Wapi?
Tulikuambia watoto.
Angalia hawa ni watoto wangapi?
Watoto. Kinyanjui watoto.
Selector. Bigger, tasty, and healthy. And now, Selector comes with free Zesta Jam for a limited period of time.
Helen Paul.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I've been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains removal. Harpic's thick formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach.
Wow, now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
Karibu kwenye taarifa za spoti. Uwanja wa michezo wa Kericho Green umefunguliwa rasmi tena baada ya kuwekwa zulea la kisasa kwa hisani ya serikali ya kaunti ya Kericho. Michezo kadhaa ilifanywa katika uwanja huo wakati wa uzinduzi ulioongozwa na gavana Paul Chepkwony, katika katibu msimamizi wa michezo Nur Hassan na rais wa shirikisho la riadha nchini Jackson Tuwei, miongoni mwa maafisa wengine. Kuna pendekezo la kubadilisha jina la uga huo kuwa Wilson Kiprugut Chumo, ambaye ni mzaliwa hapo na alikuwa Mkenya wa kwanza kushinda medali ya Olimpiki huko Mexico mwaka 1968.
The Ministry of Sports is working on guidelines. I had a ministerial task force that is looking at the protocols to come back to sports. Those protocols are being worked out, and very soon in the next 1 week you'll be able to hear what protocols have been put in place.
Eneo bunge la Kiambu limeamua kukarabati uwanja wa kale unaotumiwa na shule za msingi na sekondari kwa mchezo wa kandanda eneo hilo. Athari za COVID-19 zimeathiri pakubwa michezo tofauti nchini Kenya. Katika kaunti ya Kiambu, serikali imeamua kutoa kibarua kwa vijana wenyeji katika kutekeleza ukarabati wa uwanja huo uliokuwa hali mbaya, kwa matumaini kwamba uga huo utaleta mwamko mpya katika michezo eneo hilo. Kuna mpango wa kujenga sehemu za kukaliwa na mashabiki, uwanja wa basketboli na kadhalika. Mwingine ni netboli.
Timu zetu za mpira lazima zicheze, na ile uwanja tuko nazo ni za shule, so lazima zitumike.
Sasa zile tunatengeneza hii uwanja inatoka from our heart. Kwa sababu ya nini? Tungependa kuchezea mali sio mzuri.
Mechi za ligi ya Premier Uingereza zinaendelea usiku wa leo, ambapo Watford itaikaribisha Manchester City, huku Arsenal ikisafiri ugenini kuchuana na Aston Villa. Watford inajibwaga uwanjani na kaimu meneja baada ya kumfuta kazi Nigel Pearson licha ya kuponea kushushwa daraja kwa pointi 3. Manchester City kwa upande wake itatumia fursa hii kuirejeshea timu hadhi baada ya kubanduliwa kutoka kombe la FA. Baada ya mchuano wa leo, Arsenal itaanza kujiandaa kwa fainali ya kombe la FA. Kwa sasa Villa inashikilia nafasi ya 18, pointi 3 nyuma ya Watford, huku Arsenal ikiwa ya 10. Na Cristiano Ronaldo amekuwa mchezaji wa kwanza kufunga mabao 50 katika ligi za Premier Uingereza, La Liga Uhispania na Serie A nchini Italia, baada ya kutia kimiani mabao mawili kuwezesha Juventus kushinda Lazio 2-1. Ronaldo aliweka wenyeji kifua mbele kwa penalti dakika ya 51. Dakika 3 baadaye Mreno huyo alitia ndani la pili kutokana na pasi ya Paulo Dybala kupata bao la 30 katika Serie A msimu huu. Lazio walifutwa machozi kwa penalti iliyofungwa na Ciro Immobile aliyemfikia Ronaldo kwa bao la 30 msimu huu. Juve wako mbele na nambari 2 Inter Milan kwa pointi 8 na wanahitaji pointi 4 pekee kutawazwa mabingwa wa Italia kwa mwaka wa 9 mfululizo.
And goal number 50 is followed in it is Ciro Immobile. Took it so well.
Na mtazamaji, natamatisha tu taarifa zetu, lakini kwanza Lumasa Jackson anasema pole kwa jamii, pepo limewaingia pia watoto wadogo, dunia imeoza, jamii zinafaa kuchukua hatua ya kuelimisha vijana. Anasema kwamba natazama akiwa Biafra Isli. Mtazamaji pia Jared hapa anasema kwamba virusi vya corona tutapambana navyo na tutavishinda tu. Na mtazamaji, ni hayo tu, shukran sana. Naitwa Nuru Abdul Aziz, kwa wote waliochangia shukran sana, na kwa wote waliofanikisha taarifa hizi za NTV jioni shukran sana. Naitwa Nuru Abdul Aziz, mwenzangu wa ishara ni David Agondoa. Baada ya muda usiokuwa mrefu utaungana na mwenzangu Julians kwenye kipindi Business Redefined. Usiende mbali.
This is NTV. I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white clothes, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
Blue Pan Margarine. New look, same great taste.
Geisha aloe vera and honey, made with the goodness of aloe vera to calm and refresh your skin.
Be strong and last long.
In these uncertain times, as we navigate the new normal, we hope that this note finds you and your family safe. We are indeed living in an increasingly challenging time, a time of disruption and a global lockdown, a disruption that has brought grief to some, financial difficulties to so many of us, and enormous changes to life as we know it. Now, though self-isolation may at times be hard, many people are discovering that it presents an opportunity for all of us to slow down, to pause and reflect. Many will feel a painful sense of separation from their loved ones, but we know that deep down that is the right thing to do. We should take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. And even as we navigate this new normal, your favorite show, The Trend, promises you to continue providing a huge variety of splendid entertainment full of iconic acts, Skype interviews with our local entertainment industry heroes. And we continuously promise to bring you nothing but the best. You, our viewer, we want to provide a steady guide of entertainment as we face the future. Staying in is the new going out. Stay home and stay safe. Make sure that you tune to The Trend every Friday right here on NTV.
How many times do I have to tell you not to just come into my house anytime you feel like?
Now this new intern, can you ask her to come to my place immediately?
Tumekuja hapa sababu ya huyu. Tunataka aoe.
What you have in mind?
Kuna mtu angependa kuolewa? Na mimi.
Naona shida yako ni mapenzi, eh?
Umejua aje ilikuwa atafuta bibi.
Victory Gardens Kitengela by Optivan. This gated community is fully developed, filled with ultra-modern value additions. Call us today on 0790 300 300 or visit www.optivan.co.ke.
Mind-blowing music and entertainment. Just move to NTV.
Let us continue to worship and pray as individuals and the families, and our God will surely hear us as we act in obedience to the book of Isaiah 26:20. Go, my people, enter your rooms, and shut the doors behind you. Hide yourselves for a little while until his wrath has passed by.
This is NTV.
And you're just in time for your weekly most comprehensive look at the world of business and economics. This week, this is rather Business Redefined, and this week we are focusing on the question of affordable housing. A study conducted by the World Bank 5 years ago revealed that only 10.2% of urban households in Kenya could afford the cheapest newly constructed house at a cost of 1.7 million shillings. The study put into perspective the shortage of housing units, which would be deemed affordable for majority of households in the country. 3 years ago, the government outlined its Big Four agenda, one of which was affordable housing. Through this agenda, 500,000 housing units are to be constructed by 2022, 45% of these households being under the low-cost housing category, with the rest lying between the social and affordable housing. 3 years since rollout, how far is Kenya with the affordable housing agenda? How many units have been constructed and handed over to purchasers? How are these units spread across various counties? To explore this and more, I will be joined by the Housing Principal Secretary Charles Hinga. But before that, let's look at some high-level figures which will help us make sense of this discussion in terms of affordable housing. Now, if you break down the 500,000 housing units, you can see that 225,000 are under the low-cost housing, 125,000 are under social housing, and I'll be explaining this a lot more in our second graphic, and 150,000 are under the affordable housing category. And moving on to the next, the allocation criteria. Now, social housing, to be qualified for this category, you should be having a maximum monthly income of 20,000 shillings. So that's how social housing is defined. Low-cost housing, your monthly income gross should be ranging between 21,000 and 59,999 shillings. And that's how we define the low-cost housing. And finally, when you look at the allocation criteria for the mortgage gap or the affordable housing category, then you're looking at the bracket which is above 60,000 shillings. And to our third consideration here, the maximum pricing, when you look at a one-bedroom unit, the price should be about 1 million shillings. The two-bedroom should be at about 2 million shillings based on what the data has been put out by the government. And finally, the three-bedroom unit should be retailing at about 3 million shillings. And therefore, that gives you a sense of what the government is targeting in terms of pricing, and also looking at a number of other factors in terms of how you qualify for the three categories: social housing, low-cost housing, or affordable housing. But now let me bring on board the Principal Secretary in the State Department of Housing and Urban Development, that is Charles Hinga, to join us in this conversation. P.S. Hinga, welcome on set. Just to begin our conversation, how far are we in terms of our performance rate regarding the affordable housing agenda, P.S.? Yeah, we seem to be having a little challenge regarding his audio. We'll be coming to the PS. PS, if you could unmute rather your mic so we get you. Are you there, PS?
I can take it again?
Yeah, please take it now.
Thank you so much, and good evening to the viewers. With respect to the affordable housing program, it's very important to understand when we embarked on this journey, what really was the goal in mind. Many years after independence, we have a country where housing is unaffordable and unavailable. And why did we get here? Whereby a country of 47 odd million, we have less than 25,000 mortgages, and one of the lowest mortgage rates in the world. It meant that there is a systemic problem. And the way you fix a systemic problem is you must go deep into what the challenges are and fix them, because anything else will mean that you will have short-term gains, but you're still not going to be able to address the long-term issues. And what were these challenges that we had? Our country, Kenya, now Nairobi has been ranked as having the highest, the most expensive land in the continent of Africa. So you cannot have the word affordable housing and land that is most expensive in the continent in the same sentence. We also have one of the highest cost of constructions. We also have a lot of processes that undermine the ability for people to own housing. And of course, financing is only available to only 3% of the entire population. So the last couple of years, we had to set the scene and put together the structures to be able to address those issues. And that is what we have achieved. We have managed to address the issues of land, the issues of by being able to identify over 12,000 acres of land across the entire country. And we are still identifying more. This land is going to be made available, and that is both private and government land, which is going to be made available to investors to develop the land. The other thing that is very important to understand about affordable housing is that it was not government that was meant to put in money to build those houses. Otherwise, you're talking about having almost 1.2 trillion shillings going into building houses. And in a country where we know that our budget is quite tight, our fiscal space also is a bit challenged, we embarked on bringing the private sector to do the development. But for them to do that, you needed to make it attractive. And therefore, we have had 39 pieces of legislation that have either been amended and some have been put as new legislations, policies and policies that have also been put in place. And now, as we speak, the journey has begun in earnest. And we have seen that in just the last couple of months, we have approved over 130,000 units on private land. Last week alone, we advertised another 33,000 housing units coming up on government-owned land. We have just completed the Eastland master plan, where there is going to be another 170,000 housing coming in there, with the first 10 being advertised in the next coming weeks. And these are old Eastlands estate. We have already awarded Starehe, Shauri Moyo A and B. We know Park Road is already under construction. You know Pangani is under construction, and Jivanji is under construction. So all the pieces are coming together. But what I'm just essentially trying to tell you is that you needed to put all the pieces. The pieces need to be in place for you to be able to embark on such an ambitious plan. Okay. And now, being very fast to be able to provide this hope to our Kenyans.
And PS rightfully saying that, of course, this is the whole project pipeline which has to be executed through a number of phases, and you've outlined a number of them. Many Kenyans would just like to know how many have been completed and how many have been handed over, because we've covered this before with you.
So first of all, in terms of completion, the only ones that are completed, so to say, is just one, which is a civil servant housing scheme in Kisumu. But also, you need to put into context. The smallest project in my pipeline actually at the moment is Park Road. And Park Road, which began last year, is going to take 18 months. So it's very important also to be able to put things into context. That houses don't just mushroom the next day. It's a very complex process. And by the way, Park Road being the smallest, it's also, you're talking about 5 billion shillings investment. So it's a lot of money that you're talking about. And also the projects themselves are sizable. And you have got a myriad of issues, from litigations to issues of titling and so on and so forth, that you have got to go through before you can actually be able to hand over keys. So the most important thing is not really at this stage how many houses are completed. What is important is, have we been able to address those systemic issues? And is affordable housing now an attractive asset class? And this, we need to know that it is a plan that we're putting in place to go beyond 2022, because the issue of housing is not a 2022 issue. It's not a short-term goal. This is something that is contained in our constitution under Article 43. This is something that is contained in our Vision 2030, where we say that we, the people, want to make sure that we have a high quality of life. Yeah. And for us to be able to do that, then we have got to address the issue of housing. But you cannot address a systemic issue by just scratching the surface. You've got to go into the deep waters and address those issues if at all this program is going to be sustainable.
P.S. Hinga, we have about 2 minutes to take a break. Just briefly in that period, you talk about systemic issues. We've been discussing the issue of a land pricing index in this country. Just speak to us about the progress made regarding this issue of land.
Yeah, so on the issue of land, there is quite a bit that has we have been able to achieve. And the bulk of it still to be done, because the issue of land value index is still in Parliament. Both it was passed by Parliament, then it went to Senate because it affects counties, and then Senate made changes, and now there is what they call a reconciliation of both. So that is going to be a massive breakthrough for us in the housing sector, because it will address this issue of holding land for speculation. And the other issue is the issue of titling. We've been on a journey of digitizing our land registry, and I'm happy to say that the Nairobi land registry is almost 100% complete, or almost 95% complete. This is very important, because if you are going to attract private investors, the sanctity of titles is very, very, very important. So we have made tremendous progress in those last 2 years. In the past, for example, I have one financial institution that has funded a program, and 24 months later, they have not been able to issue titles despite the project have been completed.
Yes.
And that is only going to add into the cost of those houses, because the bank is not going to sit down and say, look, it's 2 years of interest, I'm going to write it off. So the issue of land is very, very, very important. We have to fix it.
All right. And that's PS Charles Singer speaking to Business Redefined in the first segment of this show, focusing on affordable housing. We'll be right back, including taking your feedback from social media and posing some of those questions to the PS. Stay tuned.
First time ever from Downy. Its new formula boosts freshness, releasing perfume bubbles that burst with every move, giving me better freshness than a detergent on its own, so that my son and I are always ready for celebration.
There's no laundry without Downy.
When they flip and roll and start to crawl away, tape diapers can be hard to put on. Then it's time for all-round fit Pampers pants. Easy to pull on even when they're moving around for a great fit and up to 12 hours of dryness. And easy to remove. Just tear the sides, lift away, roll up the pants, and you're all done. Now available in size 6. Pampers, love, sleep, and play.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more. Like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola. Taste the simple joys.
Geisha coconut milk and honey, enriched with coconut milk for soft and moisturized skin.
Be strong and last long.
Explorers of the night, wale wase wa kuhustle usiku, kustreama movies, music mix diehards, and gaming fanatics. We've heard you. It is now your time to fly your flag high. Do what you love, mpaka che na Telkom. Join Usiku Sako with Telkom night bundles that allow you rule the night at prices you love. Join our tribe, Usiku Sako Squad. Just dial *544# from your Telkom line and select the night bundle of your dreams. You are the legend the night needs.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
You save by not having to use multiple products. And you only rinse once. For a laundry soap that can help save you time, water, and money, try Whitewash Extra. Brand power, helping you buy better.
When we moved from analog to digital, we took the opportunity to share our talanta. And the rise of local radio represented our voices mtaani. New ICT and educational platforms are going to make sure that no one is left behind.
Communications Authority of Kenya, opening your world.
Welcome back to Business Redefined. Tonight we are focusing on the subject of affordable housing. It's been 3 years since the government rolled out this agenda under its Big Four initiative. And tonight we're just taking stock with the Principal Secretary in the State Department of Housing and Urban Development, and that is Charles Hinga. And before the break, we discussed a number of issues, including the systemic challenges he was highlighting that were underlying in the sector, including the issue of land pricing. And now we are back with PS Hinga. PS, you spoke about crowding in the private sector just before the break. And when I speak to a number of investors out here, they talk about the fact that real estate as an asset class has been undergoing a bit of market correction. The prices have been coming down, and of course the yields might not be as attractive as they have been in the past. How is this impacting the appetite for this particular agenda?
Sorry, I forgot to unmute again. Sorry. Actually, the opposite is what we are experiencing, and I'll tell you why. You see, for a long time, the real estate sector has been focusing on constructing housing for the 3%, and therefore, what they were chasing were high margins, were big profits, and we've also seen there's a huge percentage of non-performing loans on that category. So a lot of the high-end market, the people are defaulting. Now, when you come to the affordable housing side, the margins may not be as high, but the volumes are very high. And therefore, we have seen a clamor for affordable housing. As we speak right now, I have over 300 investors that have registered under a strategic partnership. I have got 8 banks that have already formally written to us that they want to finance affordable housing to a tune of 338 billion. 338 billion shillings in writing is now available for people who want houses for 1 million shillings, 2 million shillings, 3 million shillings, up to 5 million shillings. That is a major breakthrough in this country. If you recall that last few years, it was very difficult for you to be able to get a house of below 10 million. So we are succeeding. And as I said, we are succeeding because we had to focus on, first of all, setting the policies, making sure that the incentives are in place, and also making sure that we are able to crowd in private sector capital by simplifying processes like titling, as I mentioned earlier on, and also providing some backstopping in terms of investors who want to come and invest. As we speak right now, I have a pipeline of projects of up to 570,616 in various categories. So we are well on our way, but it is very, very important to understand that it's important to have all the pieces to be in place if at all we succeed in this.
Great. And some quick feedback here on Twitter. Bill Karush is tweeting asking, what is the process of allocation, and can someone be allocated more than one unit?
The process of allocation is one house, one household, right?
Okay.
And you will not be allowed to get more than one unit, and for simple reasons. For us to be able to get those houses at prices of 1 million, 2 million, and 3 million, Kenyans have had to subsidize through tax incentives, and therefore it will be very wrong for those subsidies to be used, and then someone buys one house and then uses the other one for trading. And there is also other strict measures we have put in, for example, that you cannot get that one house and sell before 8 years, simply because of the point I have put across, that we don't want people to start speculating and buying these houses and selling them. If you take Park Road, for example, Park Road, a 3 million house in Park Road is going for about 7 million in the market. So if we allowed those practices, someone is just going to go buy at 3 million and the next day they flip it for 7 million.
Yes.
And therefore are going to find ourselves back to the same place where we started, where the houses are unavailable and unaffordable.
P.S., we have about 3 minutes to go, and just another very quick question here. Someone is asking that if you look at the categorization in terms of local, social, and the mortgage gap, it looks like it's targeting the formal market or people in formal employment. What about those in the informal?
Absolutely not. There is housing for everybody. There is housing for those who are in the social housing bracket, and that is people who earn less than 20,000. As a matter of fact, next month we are going to be embarking on probably one of the most audacious projects in the neighborhood of Mukuru, where we are going to be building 15,000 houses. And those 15,000 houses are going to be for people who are going to pay 2,500 shillings a month, 4,500 shillings a month, and 6,500 shillings a month. And this is what we are calling social housing. There is houses for people who earn 50,000 and below. There are houses for people who earn 100,000 and below. And there are houses for people who earn 150,000 and above. Because we have got to address it for everyone in the country. That is what affordable housing is all about. And by the way, by definition, is that affordable housing means that you should not spend more than 30% of your disposable income to own or to rent a house.
Okay.
That is our goal, and that is what we are working hard to make sure that we make it available to all Kenyans.
Pia Singa, my final question, of course, we had the proposal to have statutory deductions under the Housing Development Fund. This, of course, has been stalled by a court order. How much of a rollback has this been in terms of this agenda?
Of course, it has been a major setback, but we did not cement ourselves, and we did not have a pity party and say we are stuck in court and we sit on our laurels and do nothing. And as a matter of fact, His Excellency the President, during his Jamhuri Day speech, he directed us to vacate from the mandatory contribution and go into voluntary contribution. Of course, the effect of that is that the housing fund was supposed to provide comfort to investors that they can build those houses, and the money that is being collected was about almost 9 billion shillings a month, which was supposed to come into the fund, which was going to accelerate the delivery of those houses. However, Kenyans have registered in big numbers on Boma Yangu. We have over 300,000 Kenyans registered on Boma Yangu as we speak, and we have got close to 500 million shillings already saved through voluntary contribution. So I believe that the minute Kenyans see the first people getting keys to their own homes, the equation is going to change. We're going to have a lot more people saving towards a house, because Kenyans want houses, but they want houses they can be able to afford. And the last point on that is I would like to encourage all those who are in the pension market to also realize that in the Income Tax Act this year,
yes,
there was an amendment to the RBA Act. You are now able to tap into your pension for you to be able to put towards a home. We want to make sure that Kenyans don't get houses when they are in retirement, but you get them early enough and enjoy the benefit of that house. There's a lot we can talk about this particular agenda, but we would like you to go to bomayangu.go.ke. There is a lot of information on affordable housing program.
Many thanks, PS Singa. Unfortunately, that's all the time we had to discuss this matter. We'll, of course, be inviting the PS again to shed more insight into these details regarding the affordable housing agenda. Up next is the Markets Review.
NTV Business News in association with Kenya Ports Authority. Growing business, enriching lives.
Right, looking at the screen there, you can see the NSE 20 share index closed at 1906.25. That's down 35% since the start of the year and down 0.18% compared to yesterday. And crossing over to the foreign exchange market, where we'll see how the shilling has been behaving against the US dollar. It closed at 107.62. Of course, having breached the 107 mark last week, that's down 0.19% compared to yesterday. Against the sterling pound, it's down 1% to 135.90. And against the euro, it's down 0.64% to close at 123.23 points. And that's how the forex and capital markets have been behaving and closing the day today. And that takes us to the close of Business Redefined.
Markets Review, proudly brought to you by Business Daily. more possibilities.
And that's Business Redefined for this week. We've been focusing on the affordable housing agenda. Thank you so much for your feedback. Keep on sending them. We'll, of course, see how to carry this conversation forward through other channels, whether it's print or digital. Let's do this again next week, same place, same time, on a different matter.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola, taste the simple joys.
At Stima Sacco, we are a reflection of you. We are a stable, financially sound institution providing tailor-made services to add value to your life, time, and money. We are guided by your aspiration. We are Stima Sacco, a true reflection of you.
Ndovu flowers are fortified with vitamins and minerals to provide wholesome goodness for the whole family. Ndovu all-purpose flour makes the most delicious chapatis, mandazis and all other pastries. Ndovu is readily available at your nearest shop. Ndovu Tosha. Cabling tips. Use cables from a reputable manufacturer made from 99.99% pure copper and the best insulation. Use a certified installer. Scratch to verify and authenticate your cables. We manufacture an extensive range of power cables for applications in domestic and industrial wiring. Our work speaks for itself. Get in touch. Let's talk cables. Kumbuka Wire C Wire. East African Cables. Connecting lives.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Along Came Love, in association with Blue Band Peanut Butter.
Along Came Love.
La luna de mí se olvida.